Welcome back to our MSIX series. In this video, we will cover some important concepts that will help you understand and work with MSIX more efficiently. So let's dive a little bit into the MSIX modification packages, application updates, and how user settings and data are managed inside the MSIX. First, let's talk about MSIX modification packages. These types of packages allow you to store customizations separately from the main application. This was first introduced with Windows 10 version 1809, and MSIX modification packages enable you to apply customizations without altering the original application package. Think of MSIX modification packages in terms of MST files back in the Windows installer technology. Both store customizations separately, but unlike MSTs, modification packages can be applied at any time, not just during the installation phase. So the modification packages work by overlaying their content on top of the main application package at runtime. This means that you don't need to recreate the modification package every time the main application is updated. However, remember that the main application must be installed before you can install the modification package. Of course, it doesn't have the full support that MSTs had. With MSTs, you can fully customize your application, right? You can delete, add shortcuts, or maybe import some more custom actions, or change the way the installer works. For example, if the installer had any custom actions that you didn't want them to run, you could simply eliminate them, and so forth and so on. But modification packages are a little bit more simple than that. For example, if you have an application that reads a config file, you can replace this file using the MSIX modification package. And once installed, the application will read the new configuration file from the modification package. For that, let's have a look at two MSIX packages and have a look over how you can create a modification package, and I'm going to show you this with Advanced Installer. Now, for the purposes of this video, I already created an MSIX application called My App. It's a simple My App. Of course, it has a digital signature, so don't forget about that. And if we look at files and folders, it's a pretty straightforward application. It's a simple application called myapplication.exe, which reads the content of the configuration text file. The configuration.txt file, the initial one that we have here, will only state hello. One short note regarding this, and I will explain why we did this a little bit later. In Advanced Installer, if you want to create these types of modification packages, you will need to jump to the installation parameters and select an application folder for your MSIX package. By default, it's blank, and let me show you what happens when you install. So let me open it with 7-zip. When you install my application, as you can see, you have all your contents inside the VFS folder. If you don't select anything in the install parameters, Advanced Installer will automatically put all your package contents in the root of the MSIX package, not creating the VFS folder. However, there are pros and cons on this approach. As a pro, you can use whatever application compatibility that you would desire with your package. If you leave your install parameter, your application folder empty, meaning all the files will reach the root. However, the modification package will be applied, but actually it won't function. Why? Because if you want to modify anything in your application, MSIX is designed to search in the VFS folder. So if you don't have your VFS folder inside your MSIX package, if you create a modification package, it won't change anything inside your application because the files won't be in the VFS folder. This is something that I just want to mention. Good. Now, once we have this application created, then again, it's pretty straightforward. Also on the application details, we have my application.exe. That's pretty much it. And we build it. and let's install it now. Okay, launch one ready. Good, so it's a simple application. As mentioned, this is something from this configuration text file. Hello. Cool. Now let's have a look at the modification package. And this is how the modification package looks like. Of course, the modification packages also need to be signed with the same or different certificate. That's totally up to you. And if we go into the files and folders, you can see that it detected that the main application has a VFS folder. And here are all the files from the main application, and I just replaced the configuration text file with a new one. Anything apart from that, I didn't do anything. I just saved, build it. And now if we install my modification package, you see that it says that it will replace, not replace, it will update my app. Now my app is available here, and if I open it, hey, guess what? It reads from the new configuration file in which is stated my modified MSIX. Next, let's discuss application updates. MSIX deployment uses the package name and version numbers to manage application upgrades and downgrades. You can create an upgrade package by either editing the existing package with a new version number or creating a completely new package with the same name and a higher version number. For example, I can create my application here, and all that I need to do is just increase the version. If I increase the version here, save the project, and build it again, if I want to install this, it will say, do you want to update my application, because the version is higher. When a new version is installed, the OS recognizes the version change and performs the upgrade and retains the user preferences and data. This ensures a seamless transition for the end user. Now let's look at how MSIX handles user settings and data. Now, if your application is creating any settings inside the registry or files, because of course all of the applications do this, MSIX redirects the file and registry activities to the user's local profile. This means that any changes made by the user are stored separately from the package files, ensuring that updates to the application do not override the user data. User data is stored inside the app data local. So if we go to app data, we will have a subfolder called packages. Inside this subfolder, each MSIX has its own subfolder where the settings and data are stored. This setup helps maintain the integrity of user data across application updates. Now, if we check here, this is my app, right? And here you can find all kinds of subfolders made by it. Of course, I don't save anything. You can also look under local cache, because this is the app data and local app data in case your Win32 application saves information there. In environments like Azure Virtual Desktop, VDI or SBC, it's crucial to migrate user settings and data to off-box storage. Traditional methods like roaming profiles and folder redirections can be used, as well as modern user environment management UEM products like Microsoft UEV, AppSense, and FsLogix. These tools ensure that user data is managed effectively, even when users switch devices or work in virtual environments. Thank you for watching. We hope this video has helped you understand key concepts in MSIX, including modification packages, application updates, and user data management. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon for more videos on MSIX and other packaging tools. If you have any questions or need further assistance, leave a comment below or check out our other videos. Stay tuned out for next video.